What's good with the YouTube? You already know, Big Flocka with a convict's perspective, and I'm gonna smash, dash, and slide on through that little bit of energy, man. What's good with it out there, man? Please hit the like, subscribe, comment, and help support the algorithm, man. Help push this channel forward. So what we got today is notorious prison gang members. We're gonna have a couple interesting case files, interesting news articles that I've been able to find over the years. I have a lot more I may be doing in the future. But right now, we got a couple interesting ones. I'm going to tap in with you guys, man, and let you guys check this out. Let me know if you enjoy this video. With that said, it's your boy Flocko. Enjoy the video. Jesse Black Jess Gomez. This is his parole hearing paperwork. Him, Robert Rocha, and Rafael Gabriel were ordered by Richard Din Castro to kill one Gloria Rice. On December 31st, 1976, Mr. Rocha was a lookout. They stabbed her, man, Gabriel and Black Jess Gomez 94 times. While incarcerated, man, Black Jess had a long, extensive career, almost as long as MC. He was eventually deemed and expelled from the organization for trying to have a peace treaty with the MA back in the 90s. He has stated in his parole hearing that his co-defendant has stabbed Miss Rice 94 times to send a message to the community what would happen if anybody ever tried to testify against the NF. As I said, he had a long, extensive career, approximately 20-something years. He was one of the main forces that was causing the conflict and was the first one to try to engage in peace talks with the MA in over 20-something years, which made him a target. He was denied parole, but now he's since been released. Joseph Gonzalez, also known as Death Row Joe. As you already know, man, on July 30th, 1965, Joe Gonzalez and three of his crime partners attacked and robbed a Jesse Ontiveros, Juan Luano, and Felix Servant. He was eventually sentenced to death row, but later on got it appealed in April of 1967. He eventually joined the NF and was responsible for ordering numerous NF hits. Death Row Joe, very, very influential in establishing the new constitution direction in 1972. He brought the militancy structure, that Italian mob type style functions, the crew activities, establishment of regiments. He was responsible for setting forth all those set procedures, as he was the first captain of the organization, which meant he was the second most powerful individual within the NF in his time era. Okay, this led to him being indicted in 1978 for numerous murders. I think about 11 people he was responsible for ordering killed. Now, at that time, he started to misappropriate a lot of money, and he was trying to pay for his lawyer fees to beat his case. He eventually was found out and was placed under investigation. But before he could suffer any type of consequences for his actions, he elected to drop out and started working with the administration. He is now currently being housed somewhere in the federal facility at a witness relocation prison to where he cannot be touched. Apparently, man, Mr. Gonzalez has been contributing to a lot of stuff as far as within the community and so forth, as far as he wants to create change. And apparently, I guess he's been working with the administration about putting out a book in the near future. John Clutchette. Apparently, he's an alleged member of the Black Guerrilla family. He's been in the system for a minute and has been part of radical movements and groups as far back as the 60s. Very impactful, very involved. Still to this day, he holds his mug. And what I mean by that, when inquired about him allegedly being a BGF member, he has stated that he doesn't know about gangs or believe in gangs. He has stated that that was something that the administration created and started a title, Black Inmates. Now, he was part of allegedly of what you would call, the Soledad Brothers. And he was accused of allegedly killing a correctional officer sometime in the 70s. You know, there's also the situation as far as back then in 1971, which is the Black August year, is when George Jackson obtained a correctional officer's firearm and requested for Mr. Clutchette to be released. Okay. Apparently, the political ideology did not sit fit with a lot of people, but Clutchette was denied because they still look at him as a threat. Now, here's an article about Hector Mad Dog Padilla, Robot Salas, Manuel Romero of Los Angeles. These were all individuals that were part of the initial strike that started the NF war that occurred on September 15th. Now, here's a quick breakdown of what actually happened September 15th of 1968, when Archie Cricket Gallegos was killed. 8 people ended up stabbed and 1 dead. Now, some people categorize Cricket as an MA associate, some as a member. Regardless, he was definitely involved in the mix. Now here's an article from the 70s discussing the Nuestra Familia. This is where they thought the organization was dead. They were no longer active. They were no longer going to push that movement. The captains, the wardens, everybody thought that they had pretty much strike fear into this organization and that they were no longer going to exist. But little did you know, when you cut off the head of a snake, a new one grows. And that's exactly what happened. So they understood everything about this organization. Now this is the incident that happened in CIM, Chino State Prison. Look at the people involved. You have Steve Haley, which was an Aryan Brotherhood member. Bruce Morgan, who was a Weddle from Glanton. You had all kinds of other individuals like Juan Colin, which was Manzanas, and other individuals. This looks like a little strike between the AB and the NF that occurred at that time. As you can see, the officer said that people got stabbed. There was blood. There was people hurt. You know what I'm saying? Steve Haley apparently got the worst end of this issue. And this is why Steve Haley was transferred from Chino State Prison to DVI. Now, this is a time of when there was a lot of war going on at that time. As you can see, Glenn Holden, Fig were found guilty of killing one Steve Haley. This occurred December 21st, 1972. Okay. Once again, another article about the homies Fig and Hobo. They killed Haley, you know what I mean, with a prison-made stiletto. You know what I'm saying? Hobo was in there for assaulting a battery on a peace officer, and Fig was in there for just a stolen car theft conviction. Haley was out of Los Angeles and was there because he stabbed an inmate to death. Rene Bosch Enriquez. We talked about this individual several times. He hit his case around 1985. Ended up becoming a Mexican Mafia member, paroled in 89. And that's when he was convicted later on of killing several people. He was also involved in the hit and removal of another MA member. Now, he's done a lot of stuff as far as working with law enforcement, trying to help out the community and so forth. As we already know, he flipped. He turned over all kinds of details and information about how the MA operates and so forth. He does have an extensive history as far as he sodomized a young woman when he was in his teens. And he's also been allegedly sexually assaulted another inmate. He was a very high-ranking member of the Mexican Mafia. And he used to recruit, train individuals, and he fell under some of those old individuals. I honestly think the reason why he ended up dropping out was because all his main supporters, all the old-timers, had since started to defect. Therefore, he no longer had the support that he needed in the mob. As you already know, that organization is a little bit different, a different structure, but there is a little bit of politicking. As strong as it is enforced within their policies that there's to be no politicking, there's a lot of politicking going on within that organization. Enriquez has continued to testify in several court cases, but yet he keeps on being denied over and over by the governor, while the parole board has elected to parole him several times. So we'll see what's going to happen with him next. Good luck. Now, the next report is about an NF member named Thomas Acosta. Okay, he was involved in the murder of Jesse De La Cruz's brother. They ended up killing this individual when they were there looking for Jesse De La Cruz. As you know, we had the doctor on. They ended up stabbing his brother over 50 times as well, right? He tried to go up for parole, man, but he has a long, extensive history of all kinds of different acts. You know what I mean? There's more to this guy's case than meets the eyes. Allegedly, when he caught this hit, he started bragging that this was his 5th star that he earned, meaning that this was his 5th kill. Now, there was another case that he did where they forced, right, an inmate to orally copulate them as the other NF members threatened to beat an inmate's brother until they did. So this is some crazy stuff. That's some deviant behavior, but that's the kind of stuff that was going on at that time. And I guess he said that they did it because his brother was a rat. So pretty much they took advantage of the situation. So not only was this dude a murderer, but he was a sexual deviant. And I don't believe he deserves it at all, a chance to get out based upon his behavior. He's a high risk.